Stupid. What's up, guys? You guys, there's already people popping in here. That's sick. That's sick. So this one was a surprise for you guys. That's why I named it Surprise Live. It wasn't really. I was just too busy on Friday morning. I wasn't able to pop on and do the live. So I've still got it. So my focus shows the red. Hold on, let me fix that. But anyway, yeah. So I was here. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna pop on for a while, answer some questions. Because here's the thing: every morning when I wake up, I have a thing that I do for a few hours before I go to the gym. Usually, it's replying to people's comments and emails because I love to have that interaction with you guys, and I love to be able to be like one of the only YouTubers who actually replies to you guys. However, unfortunately, that morning thing has been switching all my links. What's up, Chase? On my website to Dance Comp links so that I can try and make some money that way. And but yeah, so I haven't been able to answer questions and reply, and so that's what I'm going to do on here. I'm just going to scroll through some comments that I've gotten because some of those questions are really good, but I've got to turn off the focus assist. Hold on. Chase and I are going to go to dinner after this. Right after this, Chase, we'll go eat. Okay, I think I have to. Oh, hold on, hold on. There we go. Cool. All right, turned off those red lights. Anyway, how is everyone's week going? You guys got your stickers, right? Everyone in the texting community, I sent out those stickers, I think on Monday, and I know a few people have gotten them. If you guys, if you guys got some stickers, post it on whatever social media you use and tag me just so I can share it. I think that's really cool. I saw Jared got some pretty creative with his sticker placement, and I love that. So anyway, if you guys have questions, go ahead and throw them in. But the main focus of this is just so that I can answer questions as comments, clip them, turn them into videos, and post them because I've got to be real strategic with my time. You know what I mean? Okay, so the first question is about the We the People versus. And in that video, I talked about how the We the People Versus is probably one of the best bikes for park, but not necessarily very good for dirt. And Almos Crasco says, "Thanks for the video. Can I just ask why isn't good for dirt riding? What's wrong with this geometry for dirt riding? What's the ideal frame geometry for it? Could you guys explain this to me, please?" Question mark. Wow. He's so nice. He's so nice. I'm gonna reply right now and say answering. Anyway, so as you know, the We the People Versus is a really responsive frame. It's just designed to be really responsive, really snappy. So people who ride a lot of park, do a lot of spins, a lot of whips, a lot of bars, things like that. That's what that frame's designed for, is to be snappy and responsive. When you're riding dirt, generally you want something more mellow and more flowy. So a really responsive frame is going to be really twitchy. You're not going to feel as stable at high speeds. So again, like with the Versus, you're not going to feel stable at high speeds. You're not going to feel controlled. You're going to have a hard time popping the jumps and boosting it. Most people who just focus on trail stuff now, like pro park riders that jump on trails like Logan Martin and stuff, they're riding this kind of geometry and doing their 720 whips and all that over dirt jumps. But when you think about trail riding and you think about flow riding, there's a whole different style that you think of. And these guys just go really high, really fast, and have a lot of style. Those guys are not riding the geometry of the Versus. They're riding something like, I don't know, like a 13 and a half chainstay, 21.25 inch top tube, a mellow head tube angle where the Versus has a steeper head tube angle. It's generally the complete opposite of what the Versus is for dirt riding. Yeah, so I feel like that's the only way to answer the question. The best geometry for dirt riding is something longer. Okay, not as responsive, not as short as the Versus. If you want really snappy park riding, that's what the Versus is for. Cool. Good question. Anyway, I'm gonna pop over to the live chat. and see what we got here because your guys' questions are always so much better. uh, Juanito Tapia says, "Are you related to Mike Laird?" I am not related to Mike Laird at all. It's kind of funny because I think he's in one of the Matt Hoffman BMX games, and I saw him. I said, "Hey, that's my last name." And then I ran into his Instagram and I hadn't really had no idea who he was. And so I messaged him on Instagram. I was like, "Yo, we have the same last name and we both ride BMX. That's crazy." He didn't even reply. So I was kind of salty, kind of hurt about that because why like he could have just replied and said, "Dude, that's crazy." But anyway, I'm not related to him and I'm mad at him. So I'm not really mad at him, but yeah. Giovanni, what's up, Giovanni? You were in here last time, I think. He says, anyone have tips for a G turn 180? Ian says, know how to bail and find that tipping point where the twist is nailing them with the rim bent. Mr. Mustache just joined. What's up, man? I think he's out riding. Giovanni, to answer your question, what you need to do, can you see the bike over here? You kind of can. Um, the way I do them is like you throw all your weight forward and then the direction you want to spin. Okay. So that's going to pop you up on the front wheel, throw your chest forward, the direction you want to spin. And it's almost like your front wheel's going at a 90-degree angle. Okay. So boop. But once you get to that 90-degree angle, you're switching your momentum. You're gonna suck your knees up. And when you suck your knees up, it causes your bike to move backwards. So throw it forward. Mr. Mustache is Jake. Okay. Throw it forward, right? And then when you suck your knees up and you drop your bars, that's what pivots you around and gets you going backwards. So you throw it all forward, suck your knees up, and that causes the pivot. So good luck with that. I hope go out right now and try it. Go try it right now. Okay, another question on the top 6 BMX brands in 2021. Danny Care says, "Are the brands different for race BMXs?" And the brands are definitely different for race bikes. Um, Danny, I have no idea about racing. I mean, I get the gist of it. I get pumping, I get, all that stuff, but I don't race. And I know that I the geometry is way, way different. And the quality, just like the brands that make them is so different because Kink doesn't make race bikes. Colt doesn't make race bikes. You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely the brands are different for BMX. All my videos are focused at BMX specificity because I mean, freestyle BMX, I got to distinguish it because if I say BMX, like that's still racing is under the BMX umbrella. Um, Freestyle BMX, not racing, because like I said, I don't know anything about it. All right. This is kind of some questions I'm like, oh my God. Um, this guy says, I want to get this bike. He's talking about the 2021 Sabrosa Tyro, which I thought was Trio the whole time. I did all these reviews and I called it Trio, and then I realized it's Tyro. So, anyway, 2021 Sabrosa Tyro. I want to get this bike, but it's a bit over my budget, and my parents might not buy me it. By the way, I'm 14 and 5'9", so I will get the XL version, but it's still over my budget. Would you mind recommending me a bike that has a 21-inch top tube for about 300 or less? I'm not going to do many tricks, just some wheelies and some other small tricks. I mostly want a BMX for street use and cruising and just casual riding. Ye- With that kind of budget, you're going to have a really hard time finding anything like here's the thing. Beggars can't be choosers, right? So to get a bike that kind of fits 3 or 4 of your basic needs, you're gonna have to spend a little more money. I think if your main concern is just doing wheelies and other small tricks, and you don't see a future in BMX, like you don't see yourself progressing or doing anything like that, then just buy a bike that fits your budget and don't worry about it. The size and the type of riding it's for and everything like that matters if you see a future for yourself and you plan on riding a lot more, progressing, say you see yourself in 5 years as a street rider who's really good, like you're going to want to get a bike that's going to give you the ability to progress in that direction. But if you just want to get on it for wheelies and stuff and you have a limiting budget and you're having a hard time finding it, just get a bike for 300 and carry on. especially if it's your parents' thing. You're gonna have a hell of a time explaining to your parents why you need the $600 bike with four-piece bars and pegs and a free coaster and all that stuff, because that's like speaking Chinese to them. So Eclipse, man, just get one that fits your budget. Maybe you can get the Tyro XL, but 5.9, you'd be okay on a 20.752, or 20.75 also. So like quit beating your head on the wall and just get something, do your wheelies, do your small tricks and have fun. BMX. Huh. Oh, Caden, what's up, Caden? How you doing, man? Um, Ian says, "Do brake pads matter?" I took off my brakes, so I started riding like I got my real BMX bike when I was 13. I think I took off all my brakes when I was 14, and I've never never rode brakes since then. So I don't know. I know there's a lot of different kind of brake pad options and stuff like that, but I don't know anything about it. I think you can just kind of put like soda on your rims. Maybe people frown upon that. I don't know, but you can do that, and then like that helps you stop better. But I don't, I don't know. I don't know. Um, Juanito says, is the Sabrosa Malum good mid-level rider?" Yeah, so if you watch the comparisons, the Malum was very close to winning. It didn't actually win because it's just, I don't know. I'd say it's like more for mid-level dirt and more mid-level just general, whereas like the Sabrosa Letum is more mid-level street rider, and they don't really have a mid-level park option. But yeah. All right, what else over here? There's a lot of beefy questions. All right. Sometimes I'm nervous to just read these out because what if I don't have an answer for it? But oh well, we're just gonna wing it. Scooby Tech, this is a long one, so bear with me. Hi Doug, I'm just getting into BMX after I saw some of Van's BMX YouTube videos. I have a Walmart $80 BMX bike. Oh no. After a while, I realized I really love BMX. I'm not very good or anything. I can just do some foot jam tail whips. That's pretty good on an $80 Walmart bike. Small bunny hop. So I was wondering if I should get a devotion or a kink whip. I could get a devotion with two pegs, Colt Vans tires, or a whip, and probably change the tires and buy pegs. So it's either spend 500 and change the tires and buy pegs, or pay an extra 40 for a set of pegs and good tires. What do you think? Shit. I just realized I need to put my clothes in the dryer. They're in the washer, and then I need clothes to wear when I go eat with Chase right now after this. But oh well, we're gonna have to wait a little longer. So anyway, Chase, we're gonna eat at 9, okay? Anyway, Scooby Tech. Here's the thing, man. That is going to depend a little bit on your size. So, the Devotion, if you're a taller rider and you need that 21-inch top tube, that's the better option to go. If you need a 20.5-inch top tube, go with the Kink Whip and do the upgrades like you're talking about. Here's the thing, in 2022, the Kink Whip is actually probably just as much as the Devotion or pretty close to it. And I I don't know. I don't like it as much in 2022. It was my favorite 2021 bike, but now the prices are jacked up, so it's like, I don't know. I don't know what to say. But basically, you need to include how tall you are because that really is gonna affect it. Congrats on doing those tricks on the Walmart bike. I genuinely believe, especially if you're tall enough for a 21. I don't know if you are, but that Walmart bike is probably a 19.5 or something really small. So when you get on a 21, if that's the right size for you, you're going to progress a lot faster, and it's going to blow your mind. So, yeah, I hope that helps a little bit, but I can't give you too much info. I feel like every video I make, like I know in that one, no, maybe not in that one. Every video I make, I talk about the recommendation thing that I have, and that makes it pretty clear which bikes are good for you and which bikes are not. If he's 6'2", he's gonna get recommendations for a 21-inch top tube, and the Devotion would probably be on there. So anyway, maybe I'm just doing a bad job of communicating that. Scooby Tech, I hope this helps. I hope you run across this, and yeah. Giovanni says, "Do steeper forks actually make a difference for front end tricks?" And the quick answer is yes, but you need to be at a certain level to really notice it. So if you're not even close to locking in nose manuals, you're not going to notice a difference. If you don't flow bowls very fast, you're not going to notice a difference in the responsiveness. So you have to be at a certain level. I know when I went from 26 millimeter offset forks to 32, nose manuals were a whole different thing. For me, they were so much more easy to control, but they're harder to get into. And I could notice that right off the bat. Same with flowing a bowl. You can on the 32s, when you turn your wheel or you turn your bars, it doesn't instantly engage like it does on 25 or 26. So you can notice the difference, but if you're not really going really fast and stuff like that, you won't see it. Jake says, "Did you see my groups in the bike school or my posts in the bike school Facebook group?" Jake, I have not. I know it came up sometime when I was I think I woke up to it. Either you posted it while I was asleep or whatever. I went to bed at like 8 last night because I'm an old man. But let's check it out, Jake. I want to do just like private lives in that group too, Jake. But we've got to grow it a little bit more so that there's more people that can be on to get personalized feedback and stuff. Oh yeah, I watched this like 5 times, your manual to pegs, and, I think you did a crank flip, right? Because I was half asleep when I woke up and watched it. Oh, no, you did no footer. I thought it was a crank flip. But, yeah, dude, your progression has been awesome and that bike looks sick. You also said you're going back to Woodward, right? When? I'm probably not going because Dustin won't reply to me, and that's sad because I really wanted to go for a week or 2. Willie says, "I know that freestyle is your specialty, and just wondering if you might have any recommendations for a super light racing bike." I could do some research. I saw you text me in the texting community, Willie, and I can look and I'll get back to you on there because I really haven't even looked. I have a friend who used to race and maybe he has some good input on that, but as far as like my knowledge, I got nothing. Jake says the Haro Blackout and his friend is sponsored by Haro and is an ex-pro racer. So Jake's plug-in Haro, maybe that's a good one to look into. Tony says the Supercross Envy is the lightest race frame. You guys are so helpful. How do you guys all know so much about about racing? 13th Tarot says, "I'm waiting to learn bar spins, but my bars are too long. Should I cut them or buy smaller ones?" Your bars aren't too long. You're just scared. That's the thing. It's it's tough. Like, I definitely know the feeling. I used to ride really short bars and I still couldn't bar spin. So it's like you just have to piece it all together. The way I look at more advanced tricks like that is you're constantly like adding pieces to a puzzle. Okay. So imagine a bar spin puzzle. That's all it is. For bar spin, it's just a puzzle. You start out riding, you have no pieces in your puzzle. You learn one handers, right? You get comfortable having one hand off the bike. Like that adds a piece to your puzzle. You get comfortable hopping pretty high and leveling out. That adds a piece. You get comfortable twisting the bars in an X up and putting your hand back on. All those little things add a piece to that, and then your puzzle has to be like 70% before you'll even get close to throwing the bars. Or same with tail whips. There's a lot of small fundamental things that pile into it that you need to like have basic knowledge of before you're going to be ready to attempt like tricks like that. I see some kids who don't have that prior knowledge and they learn really sketchy bars, and that's just because they full send it. So like if you just hop up like this and cross your arms and get a bar, that's cool, but it's not going to help you out in the long run. The best thing to do is just build up those smaller things that piece it together and then take it and learn like a proper bar. So I mean, if your bars are 40 inches wide, which would be like this wide, it's impossible to bar spin because you'll smack your legs. You'll probably smack your back tire if it's that long. I don't know. But in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't affect it that much because you can move your hand in a little bit. But some tips for you, man, work on, I don't know if you're going to try hot bars or tossing bars, but I'm going to show you a free video from bike school that we did. It's just the hot bar. It's not the full bar spin, but it's me talking about hot bar. So I'll send that in here. And if anyone's trying to learn bar spins, this will help you out a lot. Other than that, my tips for you: throw bars everywhere. So just stand at the park on your bike, practice throwing and catching, throwing and catching, throwing and catching. Practice that. Okay. And then also practice while you're riding, doing the bar spin. Don't pick up your front wheel, don't hop, nothing, but actually do it, because that's a really scary thing. And when you do that a few times, you're going to be like, okay, that was really scary. And you're building up that mental block a little bit more. What do we got over here? Ian just said something. Ian says, "Have a nice night, everyone. Got to get back to these cold ones. I'll hit you with a donation next time. I appreciate your time and hard work on the car. That ain't cheap. Stay riding." Ian, you're good, man. Have a great rest of your nights. Glad you tuned in. Saturday Night Live. That's a good one. I think that's what I used to do. And then I had to move it to Friday. But anyway, glad you guys are here. And I'm going back over to the YouTube channel questions. Omar Torres. So this is fun. The Time to Shine is Time to Shine BMX legit is a video that's kind of gone off a little bit. Like people are really watching it because I feel like they're getting scammed, and then they're like looking and they're like, is Time to Shine legit? I don't know. But Omar commented and asked about a different one, but I want to look at this because there are so like I get more comments on this of people like, "I bought this bike 3 months ago and it still hasn't shipped." And I'm like, "Dude, that sucks." Uh, they're so sketchy, you know? And then they commented on the video. Let me read what they said. If it's even here. Maybe it's not even here. Oh, they commented on this video. Oh yeah, here it is. "Hey guys, cool video. We are as legit as they come. We've had just all this nonsense commenting, trying to validate that they're real or not. But then there's still comments like this guy. I ordered a We the People Avenger from them back in February because they were the only site that had it in stock. I purchased through Klarma. And in case of any dispute, I saw the website updated delivery to March and then April and then the end of April. Now it's May. So all that time, they just keep changing the date for it to ship out because they don't really have it in stock. And so then he said, now they're not showing it in stock. He didn't get a shipment, all this stuff. Like there's a lot of comments like that. So even they're like trying to debate it, but that's what's going on. Yiko was the first guy who asked it. Okay. When I posted this, he asked about it. I said, it's probably not legit. Then he said, hey, just an update. They sent me an update. It got shipped. It will be delivered next week. 2 weeks later, he said, oh, just kidding. It wasn't actually shipped, but they said it'll be sent out next week. And it went like that for 2 months. And this kid never got the bike sent. He canceled it, was able to buy one at his local shop. But Time to Shine is not legit. I'm going to follow up with that because this has been months now and they're still yanking people around. So, Time to Shine, not doing good. Do not approve. But now we're going to look at Foundation BMX, okay? FoundationBMX.com. I'm sure it's real. It's pretty hard to not be real, but I mean, I guess it's pretty. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. They're in the UK. Yeah, I'm sure they're real. It's a Shopify store. Yeah, this looks good. Foundation BMX looks good. Time to Shine BMX not good. But then again, look up reviews because Time to Shine's website is also legit. They're just kind of shady. So there you go. There you go. We haven't seen Rado on here in a while, but Rado commented on one of the videos talking about the Bethleigh and his car and stuff like that. But oh, wait, this guy, here's a thing from Chris. Hold on, I'm gonna pop back over to the chat, see what you guys are you talking about. Bacon says, "Do you think the 2022 Kink Whip is worth the money after the increase in Kink's bikes prices?" Um, yes, it's still worth the money. It's a $500 bike. That's okay. It's pushing it though. Um, yeah, it's still worth it, but it's not like when it was under 500, it was exceptionally good deal, you know, and now that it's up around 500, it's kind of just like partial. I'm partial to that. I'm partial to how you know, We the People's bikes are. I feel like they're a little overpriced. And so what we got to wait for Bacon's is to see what the price point on everyone else's bikes are. So if Kink is the only one who raised their prices, that puts them, you know, not super competitive compared to all the other ones. It just puts them kind of in the same market. Now, if Kink raised their prices, Fit raised their prices, we the people like everyone raises their prices 50 to $100, then Kink, when you look at it, is still going to be a really good deal compared to what else is out there. So it's too early to tell. We've got Kink's line, and what's the other line? Sunday, but the prices aren't released on Sunday as far as I know. So we don't know yet. Assuming no one raises their prices, then I'm going to say the 22 Kink Whip is still worth it, but it's not like a jump on it right now, the best deal ever. If everyone else raises their prices, then it is going to be still a very good deal. Okay. Giovanni says, "How do you get over fears of jumping onto a ledge for a feeble grind?" Giovanni, you just have to prepare yourself, man. It's just like anything else. You need to get comfortable doing your hops. So if you're not doing a lot of hops and you're not comfortable hopping, you're going to be scared to death to hop on the ledge and do a feeble grind. Okay. If you're just so yeah, just practice hops and get comfortable doing your bunny hops so that you can hop on the ledge. Chase, what are you talking about Monday? Did I miss something? We're gonna text Chase and ask him. Um. Oh, see, Tony Tech 9 says he had two bad experiences with Time to Shine. They will avoid your calls too. And that was something else I read is that people would call about their order that was never shipped out, right? And then the homie at the bike shop would block their phone number. And that's kind of sketchy. Stay away from Time to Shine, guys. Don't buy into it. I'm sure there's things on their website that are in stock that they'll ship out as soon as they um uh anyway, that they have in stock that they'll ship out as soon as you order. I'm sure there's stuff like that. But complete bikes right now where everyone's out of stock and like they're the only one with it in stock, that's probably not one of them. Scooby Tech says, "So glad to catch the scream. Thanks for the help. I've been looking at a Sabrosa Letum too. That's awesome, man." Jake said he met Kevin Peraza and he's so stoked. Dude, Kevin is the nicest guy ever. It's cool that he lives out in San Diego now. I remember so when I was young, probably 13 or 14, I think I talked about this on one of the podcast things. He was in Benson where I grew up. So he lived in Tucson, an hour drive to Benson, and they did a stunt show. And I was like, it was a BMX thing. And I was like, I ride BMX. So I was like all cocky, gonna go. I brought my bike, I was gonna ride. And then it's this pretty big box jump, and then the Perazas and they're just doing the most massive Superman seat grabs and flips and stuff like that over this box. And I just kind of looked and then I went and put my bike away because I could barely do like one handers. You know, I was awful. And it's kind of a funny, that's the first time I met Kevin. And he's a great guy. That's funny. What's up, Lucas? How you doing, man? Okay, Alex says, "Is the Colt Gateway stronger than the Fit Street?" I'm gonna say they're both about the same. I'm not particularly keen about the Fit Street, and the Colt Gateway is just kind of a smaller, lower quality Colt. Like Colt's complete bikes are very simple and like to the point, but they're also very limited because it's either like really low quality, somewhat low quality, medium quality, and then like a decent full chromoly, which is the devotion. So yeah, I'd say they're about the same though. Okay, Chris Wilson here on the my thoughts on the 2021 Devotion. He says, "Do not buy a framed brand BMX bike. You should do a review. I just got my Colt Devotion in black yesterday after getting ripped off $300 by Framed. I'm going to have to spend 300 to fix it. It has a loose bearing, three-piece American bottom bracket that will not stay tight. Granted, I bought it in March of this year and hasn't rode hard, and their customer service is none. They do not carry aftermarket parts at all. Frame, check them out. I love my Devotion. I upgrade the chain to the Colt Half Link, and it just runs over the gears better." Chris, I'm so sorry to hear that, man. There's a lot of companies like that. In my mind, Elite and Mafia are both companies like that. Where here's how it works. Same with Framed. Okay, people go to China, they find somebody who makes really cheap complete bikes, they buy a few hundred of them, they double the price, and then they create a BMX brand selling those bikes. And it's really easy for someone with a lot of capital to do. And they're people who don't particularly care about the sport. So when somebody buys a framed bike or an elite bike or a mafia bike, the guy who created the company gets that money. Some of it goes back into more bikes, and then the rest goes into whatever he wants. Whereas if you buy a cult bike and a fit bike and a We the People bike, things like that, that money goes to the company, goes out for contests, it pays riders, it does so many different things than just making like one person rich. So that's why elite bikes are okay for the price, but I do not support it because it's like that structure of BMX economy is going to be the downfall of the sport if everyone jumped on that. You know what I mean? So that's good. You supported Colt. You spent some money on Colt, so now they can pay Dakota Roche and Corey Walsh and all of their riders, and they can just do more for the sport inevitably. So I'm sorry to hear about that, Chris, but you've made a good choice with your Devotion. Mid Oh, nope, nope. Gladix D. I don't know. I don't know what your YouTube name is, but anyway, he commented on our talk about Dan's Comp buying experience, and it was surprisingly good. So this is the first time Barrick had bought something. We talked about this on the podcast from Dan's Comp in a long time, and it was surprisingly really good. I still haven't bought anything from them yet recently, and I mean I need to because so now in that podcast, I was talking about how I was mad at Dan's Comp. I was talking about how they didn't want to work with me, all this stuff, and I was mad at them. Barrick had a good experience, and that podcast got me in touch with their marketing guy. So now we're all good, and we're gonna do affiliate stuff. So you'll find Dan's Comp links in a lot of my videos and website and things like that. If you guys buy something from Dan's through that link, I make a small commission. So it's like support the channel, but also I told him, I said, "Hey, if you guys are actually like not doing what you were doing before, you guys are doing good work." And it sounds like he told me a whole rundown on the structure and everything now that they're owned by A Main. And I think Dan's was in a bad spot. Source was coming in, Source was taking over a lot of market cap. And then Dan's kind of got it figured out, and they're pretty solid. I think Dan's is going to be one of the biggest shop in the US for sure. Right behind, I don't know, I think Albies and Source and Empire will kind of battle it out from there. But Source did really good being a UK shop and coming over. But that wasn't even a question. I just wanted to rant about that for a little bit. Colin commented on the 2021 Cult Devotion video, and he said, "I'm 5'2". I'm about 115 pounds. I can't quite 180 or do a bar spin or other stuff, but I will pretty soon. I'm probably going to get the Kink Whip in a few weeks, but what bike do you think would be good for me? Thank you." Not the Cult Devotion. The Kink Whip would be okay for you, or honestly, I'd say something even smaller, like the God, is it the Colt Gateway? That's a 20.25, something pretty small, something 20.25 or 20 inch. If you're growing really fast, go with the 20.5, but go for the 20.25. That's a lot of words right there. But yeah, Colt Gateway. That's what I'm going to say. Like everyone's commenting on this devotion video asking about other bikes. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. You're in the wrong place. Sontex said, "I am your 5,000 subscriber." That's something that happened 6 days ago. I There's a handful of comments about that, and I'm so excited about that. I mean, I knew it was gonna happen, right? We're almost there, and, we were almost there, and then we finally got it, and I'm not gonna make my goal. My goal is 10,000 by September. It's almost July, so we have July, August, September. There's no way, right? No way. But we're at 5,000. That's a good goal. We did it, and you guys, I thank you guys so much. Your support is great, even though I'm sometimes inconsistent with the lives. You guys still don't hate me, and I appreciate you for sure. Everyone that's in this live right now, you guys are awesome. All right, I'm popping back over to the live chat, see if anyone's got anything in here. Lucas said something about a broken frame, and dude, all the homies are in here. Jake, Lucas, Caden, Giovanni. You guys are cool. Giovanni says, "Why haven't you done a bike check?" My bike is like 3 years old. I'm gonna buy new parts eventually, and then just completely redo it. I'm gonna steal Lucas's idea and do a really beautiful bike build-up video, and then maybe a check about it. But right now, like stuff's gonna break soon. My cranks are from a used bike that I found off a different bike in England for like $50. It's just it's a disaster, right? I need new parts, and I'm gonna order a full new bike someday. I don't know. I don't know when. Someday, whenever I have money, and then we'll do a check on that. So it'll be a while. G Ball says I finally made it. What's up, G Ball? And Jared, King Crab, how are you guys doing? Um, I was gonna say, did you guys get your stickers? Jake, Lucas is in Canada. I went to the post office. Lucas, I said, "How much is it to Canada?" He said like $1.25. I said, "Okay, bet." So we sent. There's two guys in Canada that wanted stickers. I sent out the stickers to you guys. Did you get them yet, Lucas? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. Um, Make sure you guys tag me in wherever you put your stickers so that I can see it. I just think that's really cool, and I like to watch it. Lucas, hopefully your stickers get there soon. They're probably held up at the Canada police station. I don't know. Gladiex dies. This guy says, "Can I progress if my bike is heavy?" That's a good question. What do you guys think? Do you think you can progress if you have a heavy bike? I'm going to give you 5 seconds to type in your answer, and then I'm going to go on a little tangent. Okay, so type it in right now. Do you think you can progress with a heavy bike? All right, that was just an excuse to drink some water. Here are my thoughts on it. Ever since I started, I was the biggest weight weenie ever. I'd go to Dan's Comp and I would filter by weight and buy parts that way. When I was first starting out, any part I wanted to upgrade, I didn't even look at dimensions, right? It was just like filter by weight. And if there was a difference of like zero point 0.5 ounces, I'd go with the lighter one. And here's what happened: stuff broke. A lot of stuff broke. Very unfortunate. And I had to buy more stuff. So weight is cool. It does help you. Okay. A lighter bike is going to help you learn some tricks. It's going to help you progress. Okay. But it's not necessary. Look at these older guys. I'm sure there's older guys here in the chat who remember like 40-pound bikes, 30-pound bikes, right? Now we're pushing 25 on like an entry level bike. And some people are upgrading and getting it down to 20. That's crazy because the old school guys were doing like double whips and trying double flares, on a 40-pound bike. That's just so you don't need a super light bike. It is going to make it a little easier, but you can still progress with a heavy bike. It's not a necessity. And if you're using it as an excuse, that's your problem. You're just making excuses. Okay, take what you have, learn on it, progress on it. And I don't know, man. I wouldn't really recommend going by weight. One thing I've learned in the last 5 years is that dimensions probably play a bigger role. So for me, riding on a 19.5 frame that's super light is going to be counterintuitive for me. It would be much better for me to be on a 21-inch frame that's a little bit heavier, because the way that that bike responds to my height and everything is going to help me out in the long run. So I really, really encourage you guys to get the stuff that's the right size for you. I have a BMX spec ebook. It's free for anyone who does the bike recommendation. That goes out a few days later, and you get that ebook for free. And all it does is it just breaks down it'll it, every spec you need to know and how each size kind of affects your riding and things like that. So like a 48 millimeter reach stem versus a 52 millimeter reach stem, like all those little things are kind of confusing. And to me, that's definitely more important than focusing on weight. Yeah, so Tony considers heavy for freestyle like 28 pounds and up. I'd say, yeah, that's about right. Anything over 30 pounds, really. But because now you can buy a bike, a new kink bike or a new fit bike is going to be around the 25-pound mark. Mine's probably around 22, 23. Um, I don't know. Pegs add a lot of weight too, though. Julian says, do you think it's a good idea to buy a bike off Facebook Marketplace? They're a lightly used 2021 Versus for 550. I think that's a good deal, man, as long as it's legit. There's a couple things you should always check for when you're doing that. Make sure there's no cracks on the frame. Look at where each tube is welded together, check for cracks, make sure there's no cracks. Look at the back end, make sure it's not tweaked out. Make sure like the pedals aren't held together with JB weld. I doubt they're trying to rip you off, but sometimes I always tell this story. This guy comes up to me at the skate park. He's a scooter kid, and he's like, "Bro, I just bought this bike." He's so hyped. Okay. It's a Mafia. He bought it from someone off Facebook Marketplace. He's so hyped. I was like, "Oh, that's sick." And 20 minutes later, he comes back, "Bro, the pedal just fell off." And I'm like, "Oh, that's not sick." And the pedal was stripped out. So whoever had it before cross-threaded it, stripped it, and then they kind of tried to get it in there with like Loctite and what is it? Like electrical tape? I don't know. They just tried to get it in there. He bought it like that. So like essentially he needs new cranks to get the pedals in and things like that. And it's like just be careful. Don't get taken advantage of like that. But other than that, you should be fine. That's a really good deal. Jake says, Doug, is titanium stronger than other metals like steel, aluminum, and chromoly? Um, I've had an okay experience with Thai. Thai's lighter and they say it's stronger, but I don't know if that's particularly the case. Um, the I want to say like there's a weird way to put it, but structurally, I think it's better. But in the same sense though, it's lighter, so it dings a lot easier, things like that. But here's my experience. This is all I can speak on. Thai spokes. I got Thai spokes and I rode them for a very long time. They actually lasted pretty well. I'd snap them here and there, but nothing crazy, and that was cool. I also got a titanium spindle for my cranks, and that thing only lasted a year and it bent, right? Did it bend or break? I think it bent. Okay, that one bent. I landed low on a dirt jump and it bent down and it was just tweaked. And I emailed Profile. They said, well, generally these don't break. And I said, well, it did. And they're like, well, we don't have a warranty. I said, okay. So I bought a second one from this guy named Coco, and it again about a year it just snapped clean off. So my experience with like core titanium parts is they're not actually that good. They're light, but you're sacrificing the strength for it. And I think they're working on making it like stupid light because they could add reinforcement and stuff like that or thicker, whatever, to make it a little bit stronger, but then that still adds weight and then that kind of looks bad on the light chromoly or the light titanium thing. And I don't know. Thai spokes are good, but that's all I got. I saw somebody, wasn't it Ricky Veronic? His Thai frame got completely smashed and mangled from crashing on something, and that's like a $2,200 frame. A titanium frame so expensive, and if that broke on me, I'd be heartbroken. So Well, Giovanni says I skipped his question. I better go find it. Oh, oh, it didn't look like a question, but I see. Okay. Currently, my S&M with a 33 millimeter offset is 5 years old. Should I replace them, and how often should I replace parts? This is all a personal thing. I mean, I'm sure everyone in here is has something different. I don't replace things until they break. I just think I don't know. I just ride it till it breaks. And then once it breaks, I'm like, well, better replace it. But for me, I'm not too concerned. Like I'm sure things break over time, but if you worry about that too much, you're just gonna stress yourself out. If you're like, oh, my last frame broke after 3 years and I'm at 2.5 years, like I better start replacing it. You don't know that for sure. And you're just stressing yourself out for 6 months by worrying about that. Sometimes I've broke forks in 8 months, sometimes I've broke forks in 3 years. It just depends, and you can't worry about that too much. If you want a new part, replace it. If something breaks, replace it. But other than that, pros I think replace it every year, and that's just because it would look bad on the company if they're riding it and it broke. But pros also don't have to pay for their parts, so I don't know. I don't worry about it. I just replace it once it breaks. Oh yeah, Jake got the RNC cranks, right, Jake? I don't know if I trust those, but they seem like they're pretty good, so there's this guy that has an autoresponder setup. His name's Lulu Bijat, and I report him every time just because I'm like a miserable person. He's just some kind of vlogger. Um, I hate his content just by looking at it. Absolutely hate it. But what I hate even more, I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm sure he's a really nice guy. He's got watermelons on his shirt. I support that. But he comments, so he has an autoresponder set up so that he comments on videos throughout YouTube that are BMX themed, or maybe he picks people. I don't know how it works, but it's illegal in the YouTube world because it grows your things. But here's what he does. He commented. He said, I think we've met before. You just earned yourself a new subscriber. Great BMX video. And it's like, wow, that is so nice. And then he does that on every single video. And I'm like, this guy's a scam. He's lying to me. It's not a great BMX video. He's just saying that. Um, so anyway, here, look, we're gonna report this comment right now. But YouTube never does anything about it. So is it unwanted commercial content or spam? Is it sexually explicit material? No. Is it child abuse? No. Is it hate speech? No. Is it harassment? No. So like I guess I can't unwanted commercial content or spam, but that's what we're going to report it as. I'm one of those people just because I he makes me so mad. Get off of here. Anyway, sorry guys. Hey Yiko, we were just talking about you. What was I gonna say? Scooby Tech says, "Do you recommend putting on a gyro or just going with no brakes?" Again, I think it is depends what you want. I ride brakeless. Some guys ride gyro. Some guys ride straight cable. It's all a preference thing. I think gyros are kind of a pain to mess with, and I don't like it. I don't like the brake lever being there. It gets in the way with bar spins and stuff like that. And I hadn't ever figured out really, do people ride like this and then when they need their brake, they take off one finger or two fingers, and or do you just take it all out? And like, I don't know. I don't know, but I don't ride brakes, so it's totally up to you. JDA said that's messed up. Step Bro Skirt says my bike weighs 31 pounds with two pegs only. And when I get on by a homie's fit, it feels super light, almost too light. Um, yeah, okay. So 45% lighter than steel. That's interesting. Jared's throwing in the tie is less dense and therefore it's lighter than steel. Look, there's a lot of chemical stuff to this if you guys know what's going on. But anyway, is there any last minute questions in here? My mouth is tired. I'm about to get off of here and go eat with Chase. I think I was gonna ghost him. I don't feel like going out again, but we're gonna go because I miss Chase. So anyway, throw the last minute questions on there and Tell me what you're gonna do this weekend. It's Saturday, right? So you guys, anyone gonna ride tomorrow? You guys have any trick goals? You gotta let me know all that info. All right, I'm gonna wait 5 seconds for the last minute questions. Yo, Devon's at Woodward. I met this really cool guy named Devon. He's the funniest guy ever at Woodward in like 2018. He didn't go back in 2019 when I was there, and now he's back in 2021. I'm so excited for him. He's great. He's great. Omar has a question. What's Omar's question? Omar. Hey man, what do you think about Haro bikes for BMX? Is it still good for begin to ride? Omar, I think Haro and SE and older school companies that were really popular back in the day are a little bit overpriced for what you're actually getting. I think they just kind of charge because of the brand name and not necessarily because of the quality. I think there's a lot of other companies that are creating better products for less price. But Haro's okay. SE is one of those that I'm like, it's really borderline a ripoff, but then each bike's different. So if you're looking at a specific bike, like you can throw it in the live or like message me and ask about it and I'll get back to you. But yeah, it really depends. Some things are really good quality, but generally Haro is a little overpriced, and that's my opinion on it. Jose says, "What do you recommend me? I'm 6'2" and 250 pounds. Jose, if you ride street, go with the Cult Devotion. If not, that's probably the best option. I think I'm going to go back to the Cult Devotion as my favorite. Um, yeah, Cult Devotion. All right, guys, you guys have a great rest of your day. And I don't think I'm going to do the live Sunday because this one counts for Friday and Sunday. But next Friday, things should be back to normal and I will be able to get back on the lives. And yeah, this was super fun, guys. So, anyway, have a good rest of your day. I'm glad all of you guys got some stickers, and we'll see you next time. Peace.